Hello, my name is Shannon Edwards, and welcome to my Progress Presentation Portfolio 2. I'm going to start this presentation off by going over my SMART goals. The first goal I set for myself was to write the first 4 chapters of my new book called Silhouettes. The second goal was to create an adequate book cover for this book. And the third one was to create a blog for my book. Now, my purpose behind choosing these 3 goals with the same theme was because I knew it would be easy for me to keep track of what I was doing and what still needed to be done. I'm so thrilled to say that I have gotten the majority of my goals accomplished. So let's go over how I achieved those goals. Let's start with the first one. This one was honestly probably my favorite out of the 3. It's where I get to be creative and lay bare the corners of my imagination to anyone who was willing to listen or to read. So I wrote the first 2 chapters and had my editor analyze it, which even though it was a quick draft, my editor thought it was amazing, and now has given me an even closer deadline to finishing the book, which honestly was helpful because it made me finish the next 2 chapters even before the first week was up. So that gave me a good amount of time to then work on creating the PDF version of it and editing the rest of the chapters. Okay, so goal number 2. Goal number 2 was to create an adequate book cover for the first book in my upcoming series, Silhouettes. This one I can say was actually the most challenging out of all 3 because I had to create a book cover that was compelling as well as obtain an image that was copyright free, which after much research, I found the perfect picture and it was within the copyright restrictions and everything, which made making my book cover a whole lot easier. And after creating the cover, I was very pleased with the results, which was really cool because when I created the cover, I found a website called Canva, which helped immensely in creating the book cover. It made it so much easier, and I found that it supplied all the things that I needed to create the book cover that was pleasing to the eye as well as, within every restriction. Goal number 3 was to create a blog for my book. This one I am still in the process of completing. I am using Wix to create the blog because I find it easiest to use. This goal I find very important because it's where the publicity aspect of my blog and my book comes into play. This is where I can advertise my books and where I can find what others think about it. I was able to accomplish the first 2 steps in this goal, which is a bit of a relief because the month is almost over and I want to accomplish the last step before then. Another reason I am creating this blog is so that I can place my reviews of other books. I find it very helpful, book reviews, because it helps me determine if the book is something that I want to spend my time on. So that's another reason also that I'm creating this blog, because I want people to be able to come here, see other people's reviews about my book, and determine if it's something they want to continue reading or to start reading. So the big question is, have I used my time wisely this month? I believe that I have. I was able to accomplish the majority of my goals, which makes me really happy because now I am much closer to having my book up and ready for my viewers than I was before. So, what was most relevant to me this month? Well, I believe the goal that was most relevant was the actual writing of my book. My reason behind this is because I find reading and writing very enjoyable, but also it's work for me. It's something that I needed to do. So when I set this goal out, I had in mind that this was something that I needed to accomplish. So it had to be the first goal. So, what did I learn about myself? Well, this month I learned that when I set my mind to something, there's really no stopping me from accomplishing the goal I set out to do. So I'm very determined. I think that this is great from a professional standpoint. It means that I will do my work to the best of my ability. The second thing I learned about myself is that I like to manage my time. So when I was able to accomplish the 4 chapters in the first week this month, I was ecstatic because that means then that I had much more time to accomplish the rest of what I had to do that month. The last thing that I learned about myself is that I like to give my all in things. I like to do my work to the best of my ability when it's asked of me, and even when it's not, I still like to give my best in all that I do. It's just who I am. So that's another thing that I learned about myself this month. So here's a little advice to any upcoming students. Set your goals according to time, importance, and theme. Set goals that you know you'll have time to accomplish and put your best effort into it. Next, determine which goals are most important. Which goals need to be accomplished first. It makes it easier to accomplish. Next, something that I found very helpful this month is setting the goals along the same theme. It makes it more organized for you and helps you keep on track. Well, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for taking the time out today to watch it. I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for me.